There are so many different beautiful pothos varieties, and the question is, how do I tell them apart? I think that one of the most Googled pothos questions is how do you tell the difference between Pothos Enjoy and Pothos Pearls and Jade? So I'm going to talk about that, as well as go over a whole myriad of different pothos plants like we've got here, and then also discuss the difference between Epipremnum and Scindapsus. So let's go ahead and start off with the most common one, and that is the Enjoy and the Pearls and Jade, shortly followed by the Manjula, which is also often confused with marble. So they're all kind of confused with each other. So here's how you tell the difference between an Enjoy and a Pearls and Jade. This is an Enjoy. As you can see, there are very distinct differences in the pattern between the white and the green here. There isn't any speckling that's intermingled. It's very almost like a cow spots on them, and that is Enjoy. Like, I enjoy cow spots. That's how I remember it. And then this is the Pearls and Jade. And as you can see, it's like someone took a green paint on a brush and kind of flicked it on there. It's still got some of that same kind of variation, general pattern, but it also has these specks in there. And also the Enjoy, these are just cuttings that I have, but the internodes between each of them is generally shorter, and the leaves are wider than the Pearls and Jade. Now, one of the most popular right now pothos is this one, the Manjula. And I had to Google it myself when I first started collecting these, because I wasn't sure. I'm like, how do you know what's a Manjula and what's a, especially if they're smaller like this. And I find that the key difference is there's always going to be on the tip, it almost kind of curls a little bit. See how it's got a little bit of a curl there on the end? That's very distinctive of Manjula. And as the leaves grow in size, they can curl inward like this, and they develop more of like a heart shape. Look at how beautiful that is. So, and then but they still have a very similar speckled kind of dusting as the Pearls and Jade do. Okay, moving on. We've got one that's very distinct. It's not, if you've got a neon pothos. This is bright, vibrant, lime green. Can't miss it. Here we have a Cebu Blue. These are super rare and very popular right now. And how you can tell that you've got a Cebu Blue is the leaves are very narrow. They're heart-shaped, kind of like a skinny heart. And here is one that is potted. Recently potted this guy up. And the reason why they're called Cebu Blue is they have a slight blue tinge in light sometimes. I don't always see it, to be honest. But they're very unique, kind of thin leaf, which is very cool. And then here is the Marble Queen. And one question people often have is, how do I know if I've got a Marble Queen or if I've got a golden pothos? Because golden pothos, like this guy here, they can become pretty variegated. If you've got a pothos that's all green like this, it's probably a jade pothos. It might be a golden that just hasn't started to variegate yet, but as you can, sometimes they can be very variegated here. And I mean, that leaf right there, that can easily be mistaken for possibly a Marble Queen leaf. However, you can see that their variegation here it's got a kind of a creamy yellow color. Marble Queen is much of a lighter cream. So I'll hold this next to it and you can tell there. So, and if you've got a basket of Marble Queen, you're gonna see, if it's nice and healthy, some really light ones too. I mean, that's practically white. So I know here I've got a basket of Marble Queen pothos, and here I've got a pot of golden pothos. Here's another Marble Queen. Okay, and now let's move on to these over here. So everything that I just showed you, these are all from the Epipremnum Epipremnum. Sorry, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, and I'm going to botch this as well. These are from the Scindapsus family. So this guy here, this is often called the silver satin pothos. If you want to define pothos as exclusively Epipremnum, which most of them are, then this wouldn't technically be a pothos. This is a Scindapsus. It's a Scindapsus pictus argyreus. And then some other ones that are within the Scindapsus family. This is a Scindapsus Exotica. It's got the same really cool kind of silvery foliage as this one, this silver satin, or the Scindapsus pictus argyreus, except for these leaves get really big and they have much more of that lighter color splotched on there, where these guys are more speckled and their leaves stay a little smaller. And then lastly, my current obsession and favorite of the pothos and the Scindapsus, these are Treubii moonlight, and they've got this really kind of dark center, and then they really rich color, especially as they mature, and then they have that silvery coat, and they're almost like rubbery. They're very thick, hardy leaves. Look at this guy, he's just taken off in the leca. And so that is the difference. I find that the Scindapsus ones are much more ornate, kind of beautiful varieties. But technically, some people are kind of snobby. I had somebody message me who said, you know, I was selling a pothos cutting sampler pack, and I had a silver satin in here, this one, and they wrote me a message and said, you know, that's not a pothos. I'm like, oh, my bad. So if you want to be a plant snob, you can, you know, put people in line that way. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped. Please put in the comments below any questions you might have about pothos plants. And I will also put a link to our Etsy shop if you'd be interested in purchasing cuttings. We have listings with cuttings variety packs. They usually will have one node per variety, like this guy here. Not necessarily rooted. Some of them are fresh cuttings. But like this was a fresh cutting, but as you can see, as it's waiting for someone to place an order, it's sprouted some growth. So that's just a little overview, and check us out on Etsy. Our shop is The Soil Bar. Thanks so much, guys.